Today we are continuous with the second lecture on the embryological evidences in favor of evolution. In the first lecture we discussed some embryological evidences. The first evidence was the homology in the early embryonic development. The second was the homology in the early embryos of vertebrates. The third one was about the biogenetic law. Now, the fourth evidence in favor of evolution from embryology is the neoteny and pedogenesis. Now, we will first understand what is neoteny. Neoteny is the retention of larval characters in adult. If the adult, even after attaining the adulthood, retains some of the larval characters, we call it as neoteny. For example, the cartilaginous fishes, they retain their skeleton, that's the cartilaginous skeleton, even after attaining the adulthood. This is a cartilaginous fish. In the cartilaginous fishes, there is a cartilaginous skeleton, but these fishes retain this cartilaginous skeleton even after attaining the adulthood. So this is an example of neoteny. The second example is that the larvae of the salamanders, the salamander larvae, they possess gills, and these gills they retain even after attaining adulthood. So this is what we call as neoteny. So simply, neoteny is the retention of larval characters in the adult, and these are the examples. After that, there is pedogenesis. Pedogenesis is quite different from the neoteny. In pedogenesis, an organism attains sexual maturity during larval stage. What does it mean? It simply means that the organism reproduces during the larval stage. Usually what happens, the organisms reproduce in the adult stage, they do not reproduce in the larval stage. But if an organism reproduces in the larval stage, this is known as pedogenesis. The example is that the salamander larvae, they reproduce during the larval stage. So this is an example of pedogenesis. After that, the last evidence from embryology is the retrogressive metamorphosis. Usually what we see is that the evolution is progressive. It means to say that in the evolution, the organisms usually have a tendency of acquiring advanced characters. But if we take the example of acidaceans, in the acidaceans, the larvae possess advanced characters. It means they possess the caudate characters. The acidacean larvae possess the caudate characters, but when the metamorphosis occurs in these larvae, they lose these characters, these caudate characters. As a result, over here the evolution is not progressive, it is retrogressive. It suggests us of a retrogressive evolution over here, and we have to make this concept very clear, that evolution is hence not always progressive. It can sometimes be retrogressive, as in the acidacean larvae. With this, we end up the embryological evidences in favor of evolution.